A 78-year-old man stood in a Hong Kong courtroom today. He smiled. Then a judge told him he'd spend 20 years in prison. That man is Jimmy Lai.
Jimmy Lai, he's the media tycoon, right? The one who ran Apple Daily?
Ran it. Founded it. Watched it die. Apple Daily was Hong Kong's most popular pro-democracy newspaper for 26 years. It printed its last edition in 2021 after police raided its offices and froze its assets. Most of the staff fled the country. Lai couldn't. He's been in detention ever since.
And what exactly was he convicted of?
Sedition. Conspiracy to collude with foreign forces. The court said he used Apple Daily to, quote, poison the minds of citizens and incite hatred. They called him the mastermind of a conspiracy.
What did he actually do?
He met with US politicians. He called for international sanctions against China and Hong Kong. He published articles criticizing Beijing. Much of this was before the national security law even existed.
Wait, he got convicted for things he did before the law was passed?
The judges pointed to his lobbying of US politicians during Trump's first term as evidence of collusion, his meetings with senior White House officials, his attempts to meet Trump himself. All of this became criminal retroactively.
20 years. At 78. That's basically
a death sentence. His daughter Claire said exactly that. Quote, if this sentence is carried out, he will die a martyr behind bars. Human Rights Watch called it the same thing. Lai won't be eligible for parole until he's in his late 90s.
And this is the harshest sentence ever under that law?
By far. 6 of his former Apple Daily colleagues were sentenced today too, 6 to 10 years each. The company was fined nearly $800,000, but Lai's sentence is the benchmark. It's what happens now if you criticize Beijing in Hong Kong.
There's an international dimension here, isn't there? He's a British citizen.
British passport holder, practicing Catholic. Trump vowed to get him out. In August, Trump said he'd put a request to Xi Jinping to consider freeing Lai. The expectation is he'll raise it again when he visits China in the coming months.
Will that work?
Experts at Johns Hopkins are calling Lai a potential bargaining chip. If Beijing could get concessions from Washington over trade, tech, Taiwan, they might grant compassionate release. Quote, better than letting him die in jail and become another martyr.
What about Hong Kong itself? What does this mean for people still living there?
Hong Kong's press freedom ranking has plunged from 18th in the world in 2002 to 140th last year. The national security law has transformed the city, dozens of dissidents jailed, civil society groups disbanded, outspoken media outlets gone. Beijing says the law restored stability. The rest of the world calls it what it is.
All right, that's Hong Kong. What else happened over the weekend?
Japan just got its biggest electoral landslide in 70 years. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, Japan's first female PM, called a snap election. She won 316 seats out of 465. That's a supermajority.
316 seats? What did they have before?
198. Her Liberal Democratic Party hadn't won this many seats since 1986 under Nakasone. Takaichi just shattered that record. The opposition, quote, has been decimated.
Why did she call a snap election so early? She's only been PM since October.
Timing. Her approval ratings were sky high. She wanted a mandate before they could fade, and she got it. Trump gave her his, quote, complete and total endorsement. He congratulated her on her landslide victory and her peace through strength agenda.
What's on that agenda?
A tougher stance on China. She's already said Japan might respond to an invasion of Taiwan, that such an invasion could trigger collective self-defense. Beijing is furious. They told Chinese tourists to avoid Japan. They reimposed a ban on Japanese seafood imports. Wolf warrior diplomacy.
Did that backfire?
Completely. Quote from a Temple University professor, China assumed she'd be short-lived. They ratcheted up the pressure. What they did is inadvertently boost her popularity. People rallied behind her against the regional bully.
She also has some controversial domestic positions, doesn't she?
She opposes same-sex marriage. She supports male-only imperial succession. She's against allowing married couples to have different surnames. She said it may destroy the social structure based on family units. She counts Margaret Thatcher as her political hero.
And now she has the votes to push through whatever she wants.
In the lower house, yes. She's already talking about constitutional amendments to formally recognize Japan's military, which has technically been unconstitutional since World War II. That's harder. She'd need a supermajority in the upper house too, plus a public referendum. But she has years now to try.
Big weekend for the UK too.
Keir Starmer just lost his firewall. His chief of staff, Morgan McSweeney, the man credited with engineering Labour's comeback, resigned Sunday over the Peter Mandelson scandal.
What's the Mandelson scandal?
Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to the United States. Mandelson is a major Labour figure, cabinet minister under Blair and Brown, EU Trade Commissioner. He's also a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. When the Epstein files dropped a week ago, documents showed the extent of that relationship. Dinners, meetings, the usual pattern.
And Starmer knew this when he made the appointment?
According to reports, the Cabinet Office's ethics team warned of serious reputational risk. McSweeney advised Starmer to proceed anyway. When the pressure got too intense, McSweeney fell on his sword. Quote, "The decision to appoint Peter Mandelson was wrong. He has damaged our party, our country, and trust in politics itself. I take full responsibility."
Does this save Starmer?
One Labour MP says no. Quote, "The buck stops with the PM. All this has done is buy him time. He's mortally wounded. It's not if he goes, it's when." Gordon Brown said Starmer has integrity but was slow to do the right things. More documents are expected, WhatsApp messages, emails. It's not over.
Speaking of political fallout, there's Pentagon news too.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced Friday that the Pentagon is cutting all ties with Harvard, graduate-level military education, fellowships, certificate programs, all gone starting next academic year.
Why?
In his words, Harvard is woke. The War Department is not. He said too many officers came back from Harvard with their heads, quote, "full of globalist and radical ideologies that do not improve our fighting ranks."
Hegseth has a Harvard degree himself, doesn't he?
A master's degree. He symbolically returned his diploma on Fox News in 2022, wrote "Return to Sender" on it with a marker. The Pentagon's social media account, run by Hegseth's office, resurfaced that clip.
This is part of a bigger standoff between the administration and Harvard, right?
Billions of dollars in research funding cut. Attempts to block foreign student enrollment. The White House says it's punishing Harvard for tolerating anti-Jewish bias. Harvard says it's illegal retaliation for refusing to adopt the administration's views. There are lawsuits. A federal judge sided with Harvard twice. But Trump doubled down this week, demanding $1 billion from Harvard as part of any deal.
$1 billion?
Twice what he demanded before. And now the military pipeline is severed too. Other Ivy League programs are, quote, "under evaluation."
One more story before we go.
Venezuela. Sunday, the government released at least 35 political prisoners, including major opposition figures: Juan Pablo Guanipa, Perkins Rocha, close allies of Nobel laureate Maria Corina Machado. 9 months in detention. Finally free.
That sounds like good news.
It lasted hours. Guanipa was taken back into custody by armed men that same evening. His son said he was kidnapped. His whereabouts were unknown until the government claimed he violated the conditions of his release. No evidence provided.
So they freed him, then grabbed him again.
Standard Maduro playbook. Create the appearance of reform for international consumption, then do whatever you want once the cameras leave. An amnesty bill is supposedly coming into effect by February 13th. We'll see what that's worth.
It's been quite a weekend.
A 78-year-old man will likely die in a Hong Kong prison for publishing a newspaper. Japan just elected the most powerful prime minister in decades. Britain's government is bleeding out over who knew what about Epstein. The Pentagon is at war with Harvard, and Venezuela is pretending to free prisoners while kidnapping them in broad daylight. That's where we are.
Monday, February 9th, 2026.
See you tomorrow.